You're probably here to learn a language and hear me speak about language. But I am sorry to disappoint. Today might just be me talking about myself and imposter syndrome. I am Abraham. I'm a teacher. I love to design. I am 30 years of age, and for this record, I clocked 30 on the 8th of March. And the reason for this recording is to document this moment and see what comes of it in the next 10 years or few years. I am optimistic, but for one reason. About 1 year ago, a student of mine, an English student of mine, and her family members, the father and uncle, visited me when I was still in a different city. I was just about leaving, and I introduced them to my Faceless YouTube channel. He looked at the channel, looked at me, and he asked a question. He said, "You wrote this?" Yes, I wrote a large amount of the articles that I made into videos. Then he asked the question, why aren't you why aren't you pushing this out with your face? Why faceless? Then I made mention of something. I said I just didn't like my voice, number one. Number two, I didn't like seeing my face out there. I had always preferred to be, behind the scene, helping people grow and stuffs like that. He wasn't convinced, and exactly just about a year ago, he made me promise on camera that I would start a faceless YouTube channel. I was first, yeah. I didn't want to make that promise because at the time I knew I wasn't going to record any faceless channel. Oh, sorry, YouTube channel with my face on it. I just said it, blotted everything out, and that was the end. And that's the reason I am putting on this because I think this is the same top I used back then when he visited. Long story short, I made a promise and I forgot about it. But deep down within me, I've always been this kind of person that likes to relate with people. I I believe my purpose is to help people grow. This light shines bright in me when I see people look at me and they say, "Oh, you've helped us do this, you've helped me achieve this. Because of you, I have been able to do this." And I have had, not blowing my trumpet here, but I have had people in different situations come and say, "Oh, this is what you've done, this is what I believe you've done." Now, I must also say that I basically started fending for myself just around the age of 18. I started my first business way before that, and I was this confident kid. I would go out, fend for by fending for myself, I mean appealing to investors, appealing to people to invest in my businesses, and people would look at me and say, "Wait, how did you get this confidence?" There was this food supplement. I think I sold food supplements when I was way younger. I partnered with somebody to raise some poultry birds to help sell to people. Why this story? It's just the kind of like a background to the the extent by which I went when I was way younger, and I had nothing to worry about. Just go, fly, experiment, and everything. And I think these things come. I don't know if they come with age, but these things come with, let me say, life. Young boy, young life, going out, trying to, and I was not extremely wasteful. I must say that I was able to save and still invest, reinvest, and some other things. Of course, bad investments, they're all lessons. But why this? The idea here is that progressing, moving up, I traveled outside Nigeria, masters in Kazakhstan, you know, during pandemic I decided to, dabble into tech. Why do I always say tech? That's my former workplace. uh, Dabbled into tech and decided to learn something. I just wanted to, okay, let's see how I can help people's life by maybe designing also behind the scene. Nobody sees the designer, right? Most of the people that you see the CEO, that you see every other people there, but you do not see the designer. Always hiding behind the curtain, faceless YouTube channel, behind the camera, and behind the process. I've always wanted to do that. But the thing is, my greatest fear is being in the spotlight. By spotlight, I mean what is happening to me right now. You know, people coming to me, listening to me, understanding, okay, this is what this person is, this is what they are up to, and probably what they get to offer. Design, jumping into design, it was amazing, exquisite, and life was and still great, because right now I am now into freelance as a designer. I worked with a company in the United States for a year plus, a little bit over a year, and it was an amazing situation. I was able to work with an amazing team, great teamwork, everything happened. At the same time, during this, I knew that if I was asked to design for free, just do design for free. Let's say, if someone, let me put it this way. The question I asked myself was, if someone gave me $10 billion, okay, this is $10 billion for the rest of your life, would you stop designing? I would do that for way less than that. And if you ask me the same thing, like, okay, let's talk about teaching, let's talk about influencing lives, helping people grow, would you stop for that same amount? I think I would think twice. So, my, and that made me think, okay, although, yeah, in terms of the monetary aspect, design gives design gives a lot. You live well, I must say that. And the thing is that teaching, on the other hand, takes a lot of hard work, stress. Design is stressful also. You do a lot of things, but let's not compare the professions. They have their own uniqueness. Teaching gives me this joy and fulfillment, that this is what design does that too. Just different. They are different in their own ways. I want to come out to people and say, this is what it is, this is that. Not just about language teaching, even about life. I would love to be a life coach, okay, help people maybe develop, grow, and do a lot of things. These are the things that someone would aim for. But here comes the fear. The fear that, okay, for example, I just recorded a video this morning about English language, and the thing is, wait, there are better teachers right out there, which is true, but I am the best in my own way. There are better teachers out there. You might never, the sound that, am I good enough to do this? Are you? And things like that, as a person, kind of make you want to doubt yourself and say, am I good enough? What am I even good enough? And especially at an age where, there's this, I don't want to call it societal pressure, but this pressure of, okay, you've got to start a family. Okay, I'm married. You've got to start a family. You've got to help people around you as the firstborn of the family. There's this pressure coming out, like now the fear of failure, is stronger compared to the younger days, the younger ages where I was willing or freely able to take risks. Now that's what I'm talking about. The fear is higher now, and you're always like, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And that's just it. That's the fear, the constant reminder in your head that this might not work out. There's a lot going around. If you fail, what happens? Where do you fall back to? Okay? And that's just it. That's the fear. That's the syndrome. You might not be good enough to start this. And what if? And the question comes in, what if? What if you fail? What happens after? And that brings me to this story of, I read the story a long time ago of this commander that led his soldiers to battle, and he saw the soldiers, he saw fear, on their faces. They were scared. It's like fighting with 300, just an example. I think that's another movie. 300 soldiers, and your opponents are in thousands. This commander saw fear in their face, and they had to sail. When they got to the shore, he asked them to let the boats or the ships back into the water, or probably set them on fire. And he told them, now guys, look, there's no going back. It's either you win or you die. Well, the story claimed they won. And every time I have this tingling that you should be scared, you should be afraid, this might not work out. You put in your face out here for the first time, and that might be the biggest mistake of your life. You put in something that has made you enough money on the back burner, and that's design. That might be another mistake of your life. And as a 30-year-old man, I don't want to say experimenting, this is the point in your life you're expected to not to experiment anymore, and just make it stick. I hope you understand that. Make it stick. I am constantly reminded of that story. It's either you win or you die. Of course, I'm not dying. Definitely not. But the goal is that the fear is real. Yeah, you get it. And the good side, or the good part of it, is that you've got to realize it. You've got to live it and know that, okay, this is happening. This is real. And at the end of the day, you should be able to pull through with, I don't want to talk about other things like discipline and the legs. That's probably a topic for another day. But the goal is, it's real. And according to the story, the pressure is high, the fear is real. It might just work out. It might just work out. And that's the story of a 30-year-old with an imposter syndrome. This just popped out. Sorry, this is totally unscripted. So it might look like I'm about to end and something else pops into my mind. There was this, I am a lover of podcasts, and there was this podcast I said that somebody said that you should actually have imposter syndromes every 18 months. It's healthy, and if you don't, probably you're too comfortable. Do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? That if you don't have imposter syndromes in 18 months, you're probably stagnant or too comfortable, which means you're doing something you're not scared of doing. And that means comfort. You're in your comfort zone. What do you think of that? I would like you to tell me. Let me know of your experience. I would love to listen, hear you, and read whatever you have for me. And that's it, my rant. And I probably hope YouTube doesn't promote this. Thank you. See you later. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We will record one promise. The promise is about to keep. This guy will be motivated by the videos from the great channel about motivation that he wrote himself. Okay.
And we'll
Lift up your right hand. Okay. You may.
I will make better videos, and hopefully with my face in the video, and I promise this is not under duress.
During 1 month
Okay.
from now.
Don't do the cross on your left hand.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.